Now, tonight's exclusive NHL broadcast.
Shoots and scores! But now it's Draisaitl off to Connor McDavid. Centers Kane for the hat trick. He scores!
All the action called by the voices who know the game inside and out.
This crowd explodes!
Bob Stauffer and Jack Michaels on the Oilers Radio Network.
Never a bad time for the Battle of Alberta, and tonight we're in the Saddledome for Edmonton's one and only trip to the Saddledome this season, which is unfortunate for the Oilers considering they've won their last 6 in this building dating back to the 2022 playoffs. The Edmonton Oilers arrive at this game 5-1, and a chance to climb alongside Calgary in 4th place in the Pacific Division. The Flames are 6-4-1. Alongside Bob Stauffer, I'm Jack Michaels, and we've got your opening face-off right now. Leon Draisaitl opposite Michael Backlund. The Oilers beaten October the 13th on home ice, 4-1 by the Flames. Draisaitl against Backlund. We're underway with Backlund playing game number 1002, controlling the opening faceoff. Kevin Ball up the right-hand side, and that's going to be picked off by Evan Bouchard, who starts opposite Matthias Ekholm on defense. Draisaitl between Arvidsson and Podkolzin, and Stuart Skinner in the net. Here's a backhander score, a feed in the middle, and Draisaitl buries it right between the hash marks, left all alone, and it was put right on the tape by Podkolzin. Edmonton takes a 1-0 lead. Draisaitl stays hot with his 9th. Pressure from Arvidsson, and then quickly rifled in front, and Draisaitl slipped it through Dan Vladar.
Well, Vasily Podkolzin is really earning his keep on puck retrievals, and he was involved in the sequence. You said it, Arvidsson, point of attack. He got in, forced the turnover. Podkolzin with the strip, and perfect pass, and Leon's got a great backhand, and he ripped one home for his 9th.
Time just 20 seconds, and this Battle of Alberta starts as so many have, particularly in this building as of late. Calgary's win back in October, just its 3rd in the last 12, and the Flames, who shut out New Jersey on Friday night, give up a goal just 20 seconds into the hockey game. Bouchard will toss up the left-hand side. That win over Jersey on Friday snapped a 4-game losing streak for the Flames, who are now offside, coming over the line right to left. Draisaitl from Podkolzin, who again won that spirited bout with Jeremy Lauzon in Music City on Thursday. Arvidsson had a goal. Draisaitl 2 goals and an assist, so that line needs just 20 seconds. Not a bad idea from Chris Knobloch to go back to that line to start the game, considering they needed just 37 seconds to get on the board in Music City. Now they get on 20 seconds. Off the faceoff. Here's Kulak, right-hand side for Zach Hyman. He'll gain the line and forced out wide, where he's stapled by Mackenzie Weegar. Nugent Hopkins centering this line and now has the puck behind the Flames net. He'll toss it out to Darnell Nurse. Long shot, disappears into traffic. Jeff Skinner open, fanned on a wrist shot, or that might have been a problem. Anthony Mantha up the left-hand side for Jonathan Huberdeau. And here come the Flames. Mantha bangs one off the outside of the net. Stuart Skinner out-dueled by Dan Vladar the last time they hooked up. And that was back in October. Again, Calgary went into Rogers Place and dropped the Oilers to 0-3 with a 4-1 decision. Rasmus Andersson did the damage that particular evening with a goal, 3 points, and +4. Whipped up the right-hand side by Tyson Barrie, who, of course, spent a few years in Edmonton before being traded to make room for Evan Bouchard's increased minutes. Bouchard trying to stretch to Janmark, that was broken up. Retrieved by Connor Brown, and now Adam Henrique glides down low along the end boards behind the Flames net. He's checked immediately by Martin Pospisil. Brown comes over to rake the puck free and send it out to Darnell Nurse. His shot wired high to the blocker's side, kicked off the glass, and is chipped safely up the left-hand boards by Tyson Barrie. And a late icing call coming from referees Kyle Raymond and Tom Shimoleski, linesman Brandon Gallritz and Libor Sikonik. That was very late, Bob. I'm not sure it wasn't the correct call. I think it was.
They just didn't let him know.
No, it was very late.
No, Philp gets his first shift here in Calgary, the Saddledome, as an Oiler. Of course, he's from Canmore. It's down the highway from here.
Off the draw, Noah Philp back on the puck for the Oilers. Nurse, a shot that's handled by Vladar. And he'll freeze that 2.5 minutes into this first period. So Chris Knobloch getting production from that Draisaitl, Arvidsson, and Podkolzin line. First minute, 2 games in a row.
Well, one of the things that Leon Draisaitl likes, and you love this about Kailer Yamamoto, Jack, is that Yamamoto could retrieve pucks. And that's something that Podkolzin has done pretty well here.
Face-off coming to Vladar's right-hand side. Philp will be moved out of the circle, replaced by Drake Caggiula. Corey Perry got the game winner in Nashville, his 75th career. And off the draw, he takes a shot that's deflected away from Vladar. On the left half boards, Ryan Lomberg, who pounded Nathan Bastian of Jersey the other night with a series of lefts.
He injured him.
Here's Perry dropping off for Travis Dermott. Same lineup for the Edmonton Oilers that dressed on Thursday night in Nashville. The only change, Skinner in net instead of Calvin Pickard, who just won his 3rd in a row. Pickard presumably will start tomorrow when the Oilers play the back end of this back-to-back, and that'll be a 6:46 puck drop on home ice against New Jersey. Here's Miromanov up the right-hand side for New Jersey. Cut off at the Edmonton line by Ekholm, who sends it across for Arvidsson. Ekholm, 6 points in his last 4 games. Arvidsson denied behind the Calgary net, but Ekholm manages a floater on net that's gobbled up by Vladar. And it's whistled down with 3 1/2 gone by in this first period. And another positive start for Edmonton. Draisaitl, his 9th, coming from Podkolzin, 20 seconds into the hockey game on a backhander.
Yeah, Podkolzin, you know what? He's made some friends here in Edmonton. He works hard, as you know. Usually the first one on the ice, usually one of the last ones on the ice, often with Glenn Gullitz and Jack working on puck touches.
Tips in front, a la Joe Pavelski, Sidney Crosby, and now Podkolzin's going to take a face-off here as Draisaitl chased out. Draw won by Calgary, and Kevin Ball able to control for the Flames. Off to Blake Coleman, pair of former Devils. Sent in deep by Matt Coronado, and now streaking in is Michael Backlund. Behind the net, battled for, controlled by Bouchard, and the Oilers break out left to right. They're in the white outlined in orange and blue. Calgary, the red uniforms, top to bottom with a white and yellow trim. Here's Draisaitl. Behind the Flames net, tried to give it up for Ekholm, who got caught in a pinch, and here comes Calgary. Ekholm getting back, 3-on-3. Coleman left side, wrist shot, fought up by Skinner in the rebound. Backlund could not finish. Tough early chance for Skinner, and he makes the save to keep Edmonton's 1-0 lead intact. Podkolzin across to Bouchard, and it's a reload for Edmonton. Line change coming with 4 1/4 gone by in this first period. Bouchard to Ekholm, scampers to center, and then lifts toward the Calgary net. That's going to be batted down and quickly played up the right-hand side by Miromanov. Now jumping up in the play, Miromanov with a shot that's blocked by the hastily retreating Ty Emberson, who had his first NHL fight against Nashville. Flipped in, and Skinner will leave it for Emberson. Moves to Kulak, who cut his teeth in the Calgary organization. Up the right-hand side, battled for. Zach Hyman had it knocked away by Mackenzie Weegar. Backing off is Emberson. Jeff Skinner to the right-hand side. Zach Hyman moves it up the center of the ice to Kulak, who tried to center and turn, and Nugent Hopkins poked it free for a moment. And Vladar, fortunate that didn't end up in the back of his net. Travis Dermott cut off by Mantha. Mackenzie Weegar over for the Flames, did not get it out. Nurse hustles to the slot, having dropped it off for Jeff Skinner. He got bottled up on the left-hand side, and it's carried out and swiftly cleared by Yegor Sharangovich, who last year led the Flames with 31 goals. Blake Coleman was right behind him with 30. Coleman got 2 Friday night against Jersey, including an empty netter, and he needed it because he had only 1 going in. Nurse is going to be whistled for an icing call. 5 1/2 gone by first period. Bob, I'm not sure I have this right, but I feel like Red Kulak was at one of those first Penticton tournaments that you and I covered.
Oh, yeah, no, he was there for sure. Multiple times.
Yeah, I thought he was.
Yep.
4th round pick. Off the draw, won by Adam Henry, Darnell Nurse. You go to those Penticton tournaments, and a lot of the players tend to show up, not just the first rounders. Kulak And, of course, Rasmus Andersson, for all the wrong reasons, we remember his participation in the Young Stars tournament. Connor Zary will drop it off and get it back up through center ice. Well, he learned what kind of player he wasn't going to be, I guess. Bouchard, poke check. Here's Connor Brown. Wrist shot off the rush, and Vladar just enough to deflect it wide. Rebound, Bouchard in the corner. Looking for Matthias Janmark. He'll shovel it back to Matthias Ekholm, and Pospisil able to brush that back to center. Of course, we're alluding to the fact that Andersson was on the losing end of a one-sided tilt with Darnell Nurse at that tournament. Fired in by Bouchard. And the Oilers back on the attack in the offensive zone. Corey Perry. And now Noah Philp behind the Calgary net. Shadowed tightly by the aforementioned Andersson, who's Calgary's leading scorer coming in. 4 goals, 11 points. Flames got off to a 5-0-1 start, then lost 4 in a row before that win over Jersey. Tossed back in by Perry. Andersson with a giveaway, a centering pass, and that was fortunate for Calgary to go off a skate. Drake Caggiula had eyes on a cutting Corey Perry and Noah Philp in front. Ty Emberson back to gather for the Oilers in his own zone. Tracked by Andrei Kuzmenko, who's playing a fourth-line role for Calgary. Mantha on the third line, as the Flames continue to tinker with their lineup. Weegar got blasted by the forechecking Podkolzin, and the puck stays in the zone for now. Finally tossed out by Weegar and Lomberg. He'll go right around Draisaitl. Dermott comes over to cut him off, as did Draisaitl. He rushed to Lomberg, pinned him in the corner, and threw it around to Brett Kulak up the right-hand side. This is second tour of duty for Lomberg in Calgary. The Flames were the team that gave him his first chance. Undrafted player out of the University of Maine. Here's Michael Backlund. Forces a shot wide. Rebound Coronado. That was denied entry. Coronado began the year in the minors, trying to earn regular duty in the NHL. Scored twice since coming up. Nugent Hopkins could not get it out, and Andersson will twist it back down low. We've played nearly 8 minutes. Edmonton leads it 1-0 on a goal from Draisaitl set up by Podkolzin 20 seconds into the hockey game. And again, the Oilers scored 37 seconds into Thursday's win. Coleman with a giveaway, and Jeff Skinner will break the puck out with Zach Hyman. Ball back defensively. Hyman spins, drops it to Skinner, backhander, and a save, rebound, score.
What a play by Skinner.
I think it's going to be Skinner's goal. It trickled over the blue line before Hyman rammed it home. Skinner slid it through Vladar. And a brilliant play in tight. The hands, Bob, we know, in close quarters. And Skinner stayed with it and nudged it over the line.
Well, he's really good around the net, and he just kept his feet and his stick alive. And the Edmonton Oilers have made it 2-0.
Jeff Skinner with his third of the year. He scored the only goal in that loss to Calgary back in October. And he cut to his right on his backhand. Vladar had stopped it. It was sitting on the goal line, and Skinner got one more touch on it to nudge it over the line before Hyman slammed it home. Kulak, a block shot off the face-off against Sharon Govich. Flames into the offensive zone, now trailing 2-0. And boy, has Edmonton taken the crowd out of this game. 19,289, the Saddle Dome capacity. Offside whistled against Edmonton, left to right, but another fantastic start for Edmonton on the road as the Oilers look to win 3 of 4 on this trip. We're live at the Saddle Dome in Calgary. Draisaitl and Skinner have scored. It's Edmonton 2, Calgary 0. And this is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
Weather forecast? Ugh. Savings forecast? Cha-ching. Save up to $225 on a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 at Fountain Tire until December 14th. Restrictions apply. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Have you ever thought about what's on the bottom of your sneaker that was jammed up between the grooves, just biding its time and waiting for the perfect moment to dig into your beautiful floor? No? Never thought about that? And you should never have to when you buy flooring made for life at end-of-the-roll flooring centers. Right now, save on flooring that's made for spills, pets, and anything that life throws at you. And it looks amazing. Use our visualizer to see for yourself at endoftheroll.com. Find flooring for life at end-of-the-roll flooring centers. Let's get flooring.
MIC is a leader in
Hyman. It's 2-0 Edmonton. An outstanding start for the Oilers. A neutral zone draw, and the puck skips out of play near Glenn Gulletson, an Oiler assistant coach, and of course the head coach here in Calgary for a couple of seasons. Face-off will come just outside the Calgary line. Gulletson was the coach that one year where Calgary seemingly won every game in the third period on its way to a postseason berth. Nazem Kadri, face-off win against Adam Henry. 12 goals in 24 lifetime games against the Oilers. Kadri is, no matter where he's been a guy who's mostly shown up against Edmonton. A couple of overtime notables, Toronto and Colorado.
Early in Connor's career.
Yes.
You remember that.
Icing against Calgary, partner.
And Jack, you talk about Kadri, and then they got Backlund. And Backlund has always impressed us head-to-head. In this matchup, he comes to play against the Oilers.
17 years with the Calgary Flames, a club record, and only Jerome McGinley, who was in the building this morning. Bob and I saw him as we worked our way into the Calgary dressing room, has played more games as a Flame. McGinley more than 1,200. This is number 1,002 for Michael Backlund. Gaining the line is Matthias Ekholm on a feed from Draisaitl. He'll swing it around the boards. Evan Bouchard right point. Threw it across, glanced off the skate of Ekholm, who's able to maintain the zone down low to Podkolzin, who set up Draisaitl for the game's opening goal 20 seconds in. Bouchard hits Ekholm down low left corner. Offensive zone, Edmonton dominating Calgary right now. Here's Victor Arvidsson to Bouchard walking the line. Draisaitl a little give and go, and he turned it over. Connor Zary will bring it back through center and then go laterally. And I thought the Flames may be very close to too many men. Edmonton not putting up too much of a fuss as Ekholm will settle the play down. Just as impressive, Bob. Third time in 4 periods, the Oilers have allowed 1 shot or less in the first 9.5 minutes of a period. I mean, they are choking the life out of this building. Here's Anderson trying to change that with a slapper that's on net. Skinner makes a blocker save and forces it back to center. But again, the Oilers able to hit the 10-minute mark with just 1 shot against, and now Edmonton will be drawn offside here, left to right on a play on the near side of the Calgary blue line. And with that, we'll step aside. We're live at the Saddle Dome in Calgary, where Edmonton leads 2-0 on goals by Draisaitl and Jeff Skinner. Back in a moment with more live play-by-play. This is For Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
Hey, Edmonton. Big moves need big talent, and AMJ is your go-to partner. For all local residential and commercial relocations, AMJ delivers a smooth, stress-free experience. AMJ, your team for every move. Contact your local branch today.
Hockey season is back.
Recording meter pane, record meter active.
Preparing for a face-off in the dot immediately outside the Calgary blue line between Drake Caggiula and Corey Perry. Noah Philp, his second NHL game. The 7th former University of Alberta Golden Bear to suit up for the Oilers. And at age 26, a memorable debut with an assist on the game winner. And no one was more excited than his dad. Here's Corey Perry up the right-hand side. Took a big hit. Looked like Tyson Barrie who caught him?
Yep.
Sharon Govich brings it the other way for the Flames, right to left. Anthony Mantha with Nurse challenging him. Around the boards, Jonathan Huberdeau. Very quiet start for the Flames. A centering pass. Barrie, a one-timer, didn't get much on it, and it missed short side. Caggiula able to one-hand it free. Took a hard pop from Pahal, and then it's forced back down low. Sharon Govich tried to center, poked up by Skinner one time, right into his chest by Tyson Barrie. That was actually a bad break for Skinner. Yeah. He had the right idea by getting a stick on it, but went right to Barrie, and that shot pounded, fortunately for Edmonton, right into Skinner's midsection. 9 minutes to play, first period.
So there's a situation, Jack, where Dermott goes into support Nurse. In zone D, Dermott's got to stay in front of the net. He goes in. Nurse is in a one-on-one battle down low. You don't have to go in. So we end up with the Oilers with an overload, and that provided the look for Barrie.
Nugent Hopkins against Michael Backlund. Kulak comes out of that fray with a puck for Edmonton and fires an outlet for Zach Hyman, who set up Jeff Skinner for the second goal. 8 minutes in. Here's Hyman looking for Emberson. A sharp angle shot and a save made by Vladar. Rebound to Mackenzie Weegar. Swung off the skate of Blake Coleman and ultimately tracked down and shoveled up the left-hand side by Mira Manov. Emberson will trade the puck with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and then kick it back. Nugent-Hopkins surveys the situation, fires up the left-hand side. Skinner to Emberson in over the line against Mira Manov. He's checked against the boards, ducking inside Hyman. Could not keep it down low. Ryan Lomberg swiftly up the right-hand side. Flames played very well on Friday night. New Jersey did not have much juice after a 6-0 shellacking of Vancouver. One wonders if Vancouver's nightlife might have bit the Devils a little bit. Wrapped around the boards, and now we've got a sharp angle shot from Kevin Ball. That was blocked. And here's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. What's the famous establishment in Vancouver?
Shark Club?
No. Up the right-hand side.
I don't know.
The nightclub that everyone goes to in Vancouver. It's very famous.
I have no idea. I have no idea what you're plead the fifth on that one, Jack.
Here's Brett Kulak up the right-hand side. Janmark will send it in deep. Uyghur.
The Roxy?
Yes. Up the right-hand side.
Never been there.
Here's Sharon Govich driving in right-hand side. A backhander to save made by Stuart Skinner. Up the right-hand side, Connor Brown for Henrique. And now Nurse fires a pass, and Connor Brown may have something here. Hits Nurse, it's the trailer. Wrist shot blocker save made by Vladar. And the rebound gobbled up by Sharon Govich. He turned it right back over. Dropped the stick to avoid the hooking call on Connor Brown. Shot by Dermott redirected off of Vladar and wide. But Colson will keep it down low. Finally pitchforked out of the zone by Mackenzie Uyghur, and Edmonton will complete the line change as Podkolzin, Arvidsson, and Draisaitl reassume control. Arvidsson to Podkolzin, and his shot denied by Dan Vladar. And tell you what, if Podkolzin keeps playing in straight lines, Bob, he's going to get that first goal since March of 2023. That was a good chance.
Yeah, no question. I mean, there was a late 3-on-2 really for the Oilers, and Podkolzin. Just the work rate. That's what you're looking for. You know, at the same age, Zach Hyman was in his 4th year at Michigan. Think about that for a second. Not saying Podkolzin's going to become Zach Hyman, but I wouldn't write him off as a guy that can continue to grow and become a legitimate middle six NHL forward, Jack.
Off the draw, battle for the puck. Bouchard right point. Whistles one wide. Rebound to Matthias Ekholm. Edmonton has had its way with Calgary thus far in this first period, and it started with his starting lineup of Draisaitl centering Arvidsson and Podkolzin. That starting lineup, of course, brought to you by our friends at Coventry Homes. Get back in the game with customizable designs from Coventry, the official builder of the Edmonton Oilers, who see the Flames clear up the right-hand side. Coleman with a drop-off and then a late offside call by Michael Backlund. I'm not sure they got that one right. It was very late coming from Brandon Gallritz. We've had a late icing and a late offside call. 6:10 to go in the first period. Edmonton, nevertheless, with a 2-0 lead on first period strikes from Draisaitl was 9th and Jeff Skinner's 3rd. And now Skinner back out there with Hyman and Nugent-Hopkins, Kulak and Emberson, the D pair. Face-off win for Nazem Kadri. Tyson Barrie will shoot it in. With a win tonight, Edmonton would pull even with Calgary. Both teams would be 6-5-1. Hyman will churn up the right-hand side. Tried to force feed it back behind the net, Jeff Skinner. Tried to guide it to Kulak. That was picked off by Connor Zary. He'll streak in with Kulak defending. Flames will head on a plane tomorrow. They play Montreal on Tuesday and then continue Boston and Buffalo. Hyman checked hard by Pahal. Oilers with 3 Titans coming up. 3 real contenders in New Jersey, Vegas, and Vancouver this week. Here's Nurse. Off a dump in by Calgary to Jeff Skinner. He's in close quarters against Miramanov. Dermott did not get it out of the zone successfully, and Andrei Kuzmenko, he can fill the net. Centering pass went through everyone. Stepping up is Uyghur. Pulls up left circle, kicks it back, high slot. Miramanov shot deflected by Skinner. Kuzmenko gave it back. Miramanov shot, this time a double ricochet up on the glass and held in by Uyghur. Calgary's first significant and sustained push of the night. Kevin Rooney with a shot that's blockered out of play smartly by Stuart Skinner, who felt like his club could use a break there, and we'll take one final break here in this opening frame as well. 4:48 to go in the first period. Draisaitl and Skinner have staked Edmonton to an early 2-0 lead at the Saddledome with Ford Dealers NHL Hockey. The Oilers Radio Network.
Record meter
It's
active.
Sobeys and Safe Oilers Radio Network.
Face-off coming left side of Stuart Skinner in the pipes for Edmonton, looking to raise his lifetime record against the Calgary Flames to 5-2. He stopped 25 of 28 in the Oilers' loss back in October, and now we've got an issue with a pane of glass, I believe, behind the Edmonton net. 4:48 to play, Bob. Just an ideal start. No life in the building. The Oilers are responsible for that. I mean, when you play 2 games in a row and you get a goal in the first minute, it's hard to ask for a better start than that.
It was a great start. No question about it. Edmonton's managed the puck pretty well. They've had 2 shifts where the Oilers have been under duress. 5-on-5 in this entire period. They just survived one of them, so that was a good thing.
The 5-on-5 numbers, generally speaking, this year have been pretty good.
Well, think back to that 21-22 season when the Oilers were 16-5, and everybody was like, yeah, well, the Oilers are power play merchants. Their power play hasn't
Well, they were riding the power play pretty hard in that particular
And it caught
instance.
up to them, and I remember we both had people reaching out to us in the various different ways saying this wasn't sustainable. Well, conversely, the Oilers having the worst goals scored above expectation in the NHL probably wasn't sustainable. They got 2 on 8 shots here so far.
Draisaitl is 9th from Podkolzin. Jeff Skinner his 3rd from Zach Hyman. The glass has been repaired, and now we're set. 2-0. And Sharon Govich lines up against Noah Philp. Oilers on the front end of a back-to-back. They'll play New Jersey tomorrow night at Rogers Place. Bob and I will have it for you on 880 CHED and the Oilers Radio Network. I'm 1 for 1, partner. Philp beaten off the draw by Sharon Govich. Here's Tyson Barrie. Wrist shot blocked by Corey Perry. Thrust up the right-hand side by Brett Kulak, and Perry able to shield and up the right-hand side. Mentioned those 75 game-winning goals for Corey Perry. That's 7th in the NHL among active skaters, and puts him in the top 50 all-time alongside Boom Boom Geoffrion. Pretty nice company. Here's Kulak.
Very different players.
Perry up the right-hand side, yes. Drake Kachula tried to slide it in front, and that was picked off by Sharon Govich. The outlet for Huberdeau, and both teams want to make changes as we come up on 4 minutes to play in this first period. Calgary in the red and Edmonton in the white. Oilers owners of a 2-0 lead, and this will be an icing call against the Flames on a stretch play up the middle. Bouchard got back in time. 4:03 to go. Offensive zone faceoff coming up for Edmonton, and over the boards comes Draisaitl, Podkolzin, and Arvidsson. Draisaitl, a pair of 3-point games over his last 3. This is the second game that Edmonton will play without Connor McDavid. Of course, McDavid tripped up last week in Columbus. Here's Ekholm. Wrist shot thrown in front for Draisaitl, and a save made by Vladar. Beautiful feed that time from Arvidsson.
Leon kind of didn't get all that one.
No, Arvidsson a backhander and a save made by Vladar. And it's interesting, of course, we think of Draisaitl as the ultimate playmaker, but he's been fed twice from almost the same spot. Yeah. Once by Podkolzin for a goal, and that time, as you mentioned, had Draisaitl gotten all he wanted on that shot, maybe it's 3-0.
I tell you, Calgary was lucky. He
chipped a floater, and Vladar slid across to get a piece. If he gets cleaner contact,
it's in the net.
Yes. So now you've got Henry centering Janmark and Connor Brown. Backlund won the face-off, and it's worked up the right-hand side by Rasmus Andersson. Kevin Ball takes a cross-ice pass. Andersson, that was clubbed high and wide by Backlund off the rush. Andersson pinches in, maintains the puck in the offensive zone for now. Coronado double-teamed on the half wall by Janmark and Henry. And now Darnell Nurse got himself into a little bit of trouble. Still grappling for puck possession with Backlund. Poked free finally by Henrique. He hit the official. Coleman to Andersson. Wrist shot, glove save, Stuart Skinner. And he's able to clean up a bad break. Nurse lost his helmet on a collision in front.
Should have been a penalty. Darnell's saying Backlund swatted the helmet right off my head. That's an automatic penalty now. And they didn't call it.
Skinner makes the glove save meanwhile. And that was a tough break. Yeah. Henrique had to clear up the right-hand side, and it went right off the official.
Jack, they've had a couple looks off that pairing, off of the Nurse-Dermott pairing.
Nazem Kadri and Leon Draisaitl. Now Kadri is going to be moved out, replaced by Pospisil, who was briefly tried at center, and it didn't suit him. Face-off win. Draisaitl on cue. Wins it easily against Pospisil, who's back on the puck after a turnover at the line. Bouchard able to regain. Ekholm up the left-hand side. Draisaitl puts the brakes on, waits, and then backhands it across. Bouchard, slap pass in tight, and Ekholm couldn't steer that one on net. Arvidsson moved in on the forecheck with Podkolzin. And again, Calgary bottled up, raked free by Connor Zary, and that was well done for Kevin Ball. Center ice, Kadri. He's got to get himself back on side. He did not. Flames have to clear, and Ekholm has plenty of time to reset with 2.5 to go in this first period. Oilers on top, 2-0. Draisaitl 20 seconds in, and that was followed 8 minutes later by a goal from Jeff Skinner. Here's Zach Hyman sprinting down the right-hand side. Knocked down, cleared. Kuzmenko to center ice and tucked back in by Dermott. Got a little nasty for a moment there with Nugent Hopkins and Lomberg.
You're not taking that trade-off if you're the Oilers.
Lead pass left wing, Kevin Rooney. Wrist shot off the rush, and that was deflected harmlessly out of play with 2:02 to go in the first. Kevin Rooney, another former Devil.
And Darnell Nurse went and picked off Ryan Lomberg after, said there would be none of that.
Now that would be an interesting tilt.
Well, Lomberg throws hard. Just ask Nathan Bastian, who came to the defense of Paul Cotter, who got drilled into the boards by Lomberg.
And then Bastian got tied up and really didn't. Yeah, there was a third guy in. He didn't get his right glove.
He couldn't protect himself. And he couldn't protect himself.
Yeah. Rooney won the face-off. Here's Weegar. Kuzmenko against Nugent Hopkins. Tucks it inside. Rooney's shot blocked. Got it back. Fired again and had it blocked again. This time by Darnell Nurse. Here's Lomberg. Rooney. Weegar steps up. Shoots. And that might have glanced off of Dermott, who went after the puck. Lomberg got on top of it first, and now you've got Kuzmenko. And again, he can be extremely dangerous. Scored 39 goals a couple seasons ago. Weegar now playing on the fourth line. Here's Kevin Rooney. Miramanov ripped it around the boards, stepping up on it. Weegar. Even last year, Kuzmenko had 22. And here's Kuzmenko in tight, trying to feed Lomberg, who could not thread that through. Weegar back to Kevin Rooney. And another shift where Calgary is keeping Edmonton hemmed in. Hard check by Nurse. That disrupted the cycle on Kuzmenko. Coming in to blast Darnell Nurse, but was off balance. Kevin Rooney. Nurse absorbed the shot, got it ahead for Hyman, and the puck rolled back into the Calgary zone with a minute to go in this first period. But the Flames have now gained some traction in this game. They're still down 2-0. Weegar fires a pass up the middle, spilled in by Anthony Mantha. Emberson back on the puck for Edmonton, turned it over. Mantha held on to it and now pursues against Adam Henrique. He'll swing it off the right-hand boards, and that'll be gathered by Rasmus Andersson with a half minute to go in the period. Quick lead pass. Huberdeau looking for Sharon Govich, who attacks hard in the corner against Emberson. Won the battle. Centers for Ball. Shoots, and a blocker save made by Stuart Skinner. And Ball, if he one-times that puck, maybe it's a different outcome. Skinner had time to get set. Mantha's return pass to Ball was tipped out of the zone and then spun back in, knocked down by Stuart Skinner with 5 seconds remaining in the period. Emberson will toss up glass, and that'll do it for a solid opening 20 minutes in Calgary for the Edmonton Oilers, who have a 2-0 lead, having outshot the Flames by a count of 10-8, most importantly asserting themselves early with another dominant first shift by the top line. Draisaitl set up by Podkolzin the other night in Nashville. The goal came 37 seconds in. Arvidsson the beneficiary on that night. Tonight it's Draisaitl with his 9th, and Edmonton takes control early and then had it backed up by Jeff Skinner. A brilliant individual effort cutting across the top of the crease and slipping in a backhander. Zach Hyman the assist. 2-0 Edmonton. Bob, hard to quibble. The Flames had a couple decent shifts down the stretch in the first period, but largely were boxed out. They didn't have high danger looks. Jeff Skinner. Welcome back inside our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. I'm Jack Michaels alongside Bob Stauffer. We're set for the start of period 2 as the Oilers look to close out a road trip that was a little broken up. They flew home yesterday, or 2 days ago, as it turned out, for basically what amounted to about 28 hours at home and then regrouped and took an evening flight to Calgary last night. And they've arrived, and they were ready to play the first period. Backlund winning the faceoff from Leon Draisaitl. That's the one bright spot for the Flames. They've won 14 of 21 faceoffs tonight, but it hasn't translated into anything substantial on the scoreboard. As Draisaitl off a Calgary dump-in locates Bouchard, and now streaking down the right-hand side. Slap shot, Arvidsson, and that was squeezed ultimately by Vladar. He got it between his right elbow and chest, and it stung him. It bit him a bit.
Yeah, it did.
And it trickled free at the very end, and Bouchard was perched right on the doorstep, but Vladar was able to squeeze it before Bouchard could bang one home.
You know, it's funny you mentioned the face-offs, and the Flames came in second last in the NHL, Jack, at 45.1%.
And Edmonton's still, what, top 4?
Yep, they're fourth in the league at 55.5, and the Oilers have only won 33% of the draws in this game.
Off this face-off, it trickles back on Vladar. 23 seconds into this second period with Edmonton holding a 2-0 lead.
Now, sometimes you do see home teams have the higher face-off percentage.
Draisaitl. A drop-off. Ekholm to Bouchard. Ladies and gentlemen, my partner concedes nothing. Here's Arvidsson in tight, a one-timer, and again, Olsen denied. He's had 2 good looks tonight. Vladar has made 2 of his best saves at the expense of Olsen. Coronado wheels it in from the right-hand side for Calgary. Edmonton with Ekholm able to break that one up, muscle it up toward Arvidsson. Now Olsen stood up at the line by Miramanov. Michael Backlund darts to his right, pulls up and shoots, and a blocker save handled by Stuart Skinner. Rebound Mackenzie Weegar. In the corner, trapped by Draisaitl. Swung off the boards. Blake Coleman up top. They'll skate along that blue line, send it off Bouchard's body. Sharon Govich, who missed the start of the season due to injury with a turnover, and Draisaitl weaving his way through center. As you said, Bob, Calgary mostly healthy, but a guy like Sharon Govich still working his way back. He has not been the same player in the first 4 games that he was last year when, again, he erupted for 31 off a turnover and a big miss by Mantha. A giveaway, and Stuart Skinner, as he retreated to the pipes, watched Mantha push that shot 5 feet wide. That could have been in the net.
The Oilers need more out of Dermott and Nurse in this game. There's been some communication issues. There was another one.
Here's Nurse looking up the middle, batted down by Huberdeau, right onto Nugent Hopkins' tape, and he wires a shot off the blocker of Vladar. Then Hyman was able to tuck one short side, and Vladar makes another save, protecting, and he'll wait a face-off to his right. Now, how much, if anything, does that have to do with the fact that at times Nurse and Dermott trade sides of the ice, and both, of course, are left-handed shots?
You're on to something. There's another one right there. We just watched the replay of it. By the way, Hyman off the wall there, putting the puck on the net. Didn't it seem like he scored in every game against Calgary in that playoff series that way back in 21-22?
Well, it seemed like everyone was scoring.
Oh, you have
Didn't
a point.
Draisaitl have 17 points in that series?
On a bad high ankle sprain.
And in 5 games. Emberson up the right-hand side. Tossed back by Henrique back towards center. Hyman does have 6 goals in his last 7 regular season games against Calgary as well. Kulak to Emberson, Adam Henrique, and chopped down was Connor Brown. We have not had a penalty called in this game, and Brown apparently felt that should have been one. Here's Mackenzie Weegar.
Each way, Jack, they could have had one.
Sending it up the right-hand side. Now you've got Kadri. Waved off his stick by Henrique, and then jabbed to the corner by Emberson. Henrique kept his stick in the mix, but Connor Zary was able to force it down low. Dug out of the corner by Emberson, and now we will have that first penalty called, and I think it's Henrique. Zary is lying prone on the ice, and Adam Henrique will trudge to the penalty box. This is the first power play that either side has enjoyed, and Calgary in a deep slump to start the season on the power play. 0 for their last 18.
Over the last 6 games. 24th in the league at 14.3%, but the Oilers penalty killing, Jack,
dead last.
It's been atrocious at 62.5.
12 goals against on 32 opportunities. They got nicked for 1 in Nashville. Were able to shrug it off and win that game going away 5-1. You've got Nazem Kadri lined up against Noah Philp. Philp, Nugent Hopkins with Henrique in the box, of course. And then Nurse and Ekholm round out your Napa Auto Parts penalty killing foursome, and we're going to do this one again.
Philp won it, but
Kadri's chased out of there. Sharon Govich lines up against Noah Philp to Skinner's right-hand side. This one a little bit more even, but Ekholm was able to tap it over to Nurse, a hard rim, kept in briefly by Huberdeau and muscled out by Noah Philp. Huberdeau will kick it back to Mackenzie Weegar. Both teams have struggled on special teams in the early going this year. Calgary's penalty kill isn't much better than Edmonton's. Ekholm defending down low. It's kicked out to Mackenzie Weegar. Fires a dart across, a drive by Huberdeau, a save made by Jeff Skinner. Rebound on the puck was Coronado, and then a miscommunication, and Huberdeau unhappy with himself as he put too much on that pass back to Weegar at the left point. Edmonton able to change out its killers. Arvidsson out there with Janmark now, Emberson and Kulak. Gaining the line is Sharon Govich. He'll toss it to the deep left corner. Emberson took him out. Kulak on his backhand was able to squeeze it off the skates of Kadri. And the Flames have to fall back. And Janmark has too much speed for Weegar and is able to wrestle the puck away from Calgary's Mackenzie Weegar, who initially was a little casual. And then by the time he recognized as such, Janmark was by him. Weegar up through center. Fires it in deep. 4 minutes gone by, second period. Flame power play down to 40 seconds. Barry to Anthony Mantha. Wrist shot blocked by Emberson. Rebound gobbled up by Podkolzin, and he's got guys with him. Podkolzin hits the Calgary line. He'll backhand it behind Connor Zary and then smartly change along with Connor Brown. Flames left to right. Nugent Hopkins defending Mantha and Anderson. Swung around to Connor Zary left point and then reversed right back to Anderson. Top of the right circle, Rasmus Anderson. Hovering, tried to dish back. Deflected, Michael Backlund. Sharp angle, right-hand side. Nowhere to shoot it. He angles the pass off the boards to Barry. He lets one fly and it's tipped home. And Ekholm thinks it was play with a high stick. For now, the officials disagree.
It's unreal. The Oilers had a great kill going.
Mantha will get the tip.
He's a 6'5" player. I think it's a good goal, Jack.
Anthony Mantha, if it counts, it'll be his fourth of the year. Barry just threw a floater up there, and now there's further deliberations here. Ekholm emphatically signaled high stick right away.
I think it's a good goal.
Kyle Raymond will announce.
The call on the ice is that the puck was deflected below the crossbar, therefore we have a goal.
There's his indication. Now, of course, you can challenge.
I think it's a good goal.
Chris Knobloch is indicating, if I'm reading his body language, he's saying it's right even with the left shoulder. Or is he saying it's above the left shoulder? Let's hear it.
The play is under review to see if the puck entered the net off of a high stick.
Now, he said under review, not a challenge. Or did it go off?
I thought it might have
hit Ekholm.
That's what I thought initially.
But Mantha's stick was up near the shoulder of Mattias Ekholm, the left shoulder of Mattias Ekholm. In fact, it was almost even with Ekholm's collarbone. This is really tight.
It is tight. I think it's a good goal because it's called a goal on the ice.
Yes. Mantha got the touch. Knobloch is saying it might be over Ekholm's shoulder. I think it's even with the shoulder. I haven't seen anything on a replay that would say, all right, this is definitely going to be overturned.
To me, this is a good
That's
goal.
the call on the ice. By the time Mantha's stick makes contact with a puck, it's below Ekholm's clavicle. Boy, it is tight with the crossbar, though.
Quick decision here. It's going to be a good goal.
After video review, the call on the ice is going to stand. We have a goal. The puck was deflected.
There it is. Now again, he said under review.
So the Oilers did not challenge.
It did. Yeah, it was not a challenge. He said under review, not a challenge. So they reviewed it. And Chris Knobloch's not going to challenge, so it's Mantha from Barry, his fourth.
Everything that gets put to the net right now, when the Oilers are shorthanded, seemingly ends up in the goal.
Still a 2-1 game for Edmonton. Off the draw, it's sent in deep. Rasmus Anderson gets it to Coronado, but his cross-ice pass ends up outside the zone. Give Backlund the second assist on the scoring play. A power play goal that snaps an 0 for 18 skid. Here's Hyman to Draisaitl off the rush, and he misses off the forehand side, cleared by Coronado off the right wing boards.
Jack, the linesmen have twice knocked pucks down.
Here's Draisaitl churning his legs behind the Calgary net. But yeah, the Flames threw one off a linesman, led to a chance for Edmonton. Bouchard's blast was blocked. The rebound cleared by Coleman. A good response from the Oilers after that power play goal. The first shift, a good one. And yet the score remains 2-1. Corey Perry backs his way in. Kevin Ball tries to slide it past Perry, who knocked that one down. And now Ball finds himself the recipient of a double team. Kuzmenko did not get it out. Nurse Philp thought he had a stick held by Miramanov. Nothing was called, and the Flames eventually able to muscle it back to center. Miramanov watching that line closely, up to Kuzmenko. Spins, centers, open man. Coleman denied by Skinner, who broke down the middle. And again, it was Nurse and Dermott who allowed Coleman to split the seam there. But Skinner comes up with a quality save to keep it 2-1. That could have been tied right there. Blake Coleman scored twice on Friday to get off the schneid. Nurse will fire it in as he emerges from his own zone at center. Barry will give it to Pahal. Right-hand side, Lomberg spills it in deep against Kulak. Puck retrieval by Emberson, and then reverse back to him by Kulak. Emberson fans initially, then wedges one through the neutral zone that curled right to Pahal. Up the gut, Jonathan Huberdeau. Now the crowd into it for the first time tonight. Huberdeau with a turnover, and here come the Oilers. Podkolzin backhands it toward the net, and he'll take a snow shower from Victor Arvidsson, but Dan Vladar able to get on top of that puck. Vladar again coming off a shutout win over Jersey on Friday, where he became the first Flame goalie during a shutout while getting an assist in the same game since 2005. 7 minutes into the second period, Flames are on the board with a power play goal, but it's still Edmonton 2, Calgary 1. This is the Battle of Alberta, the Oilers Radio Network.
Believing in yourself takes confidence. At Portage College, 93% of grads say they're
your go-to partner for all local residential and commercial relocations. AMJ delivers a smooth, stress-free experience. AMJ, your team for every move. Contact your local branch today.
Experience a game day meal that's second to none. Fanfare with Skip is your all-star lineup of local restaurants this hockey season. Watch Jack Michaels give you the play-by-play on each restaurant's connection to the community and our team. Visit EdmontonOilers.com/skip to watch this month's episode with PM Lounge. Then open your Skip app and tap in an order with exclusive fan access to a deal each game day during the month. Did somebody say Skip? Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need, when you need it, 24/7, 365, every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Hey, Edmonton. Big moves need big talent, and AMJ is your go-to partner for all local residential and commercial relocations. AMJ delivers a smooth, stress-free experience. AMJ, your team for every move. Contact your local branch today.
All games, all seasons. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
Oilers coming off a game where they scored a season-high 5 goals in pasting The Nashville Predators on third.
Blue collar work deserves big dollar perks. Get a heavy wallet with Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals. Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals is hiring heavy equipment technicians, maintenance supervisors, PM servicemen, maintenance coordinators, and pretty much every other position that makes Alberta go. We help move the earth that makes Alberta grow. So why not work for a company that makes your bank account grow too? Visit heavymetalequipment.ca to find your new career. Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals, helping you move the earth.
When the Oilers are on the ice, the big hits are a part of the game. But they shouldn't be a part of your drive. If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown & Associates and their over 200 years of combined injury law experience help you. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown & Associates is ready to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
It's a new era for Ford in Edmonton. Welcome to Big West Ford. Located westbound on Stony Plain Road just east of the Henday, Big West Ford is Edmonton's newest and most exciting Ford dealership. Whether you're after the legendary F-150, the powerhouse 350 Super Duty, or the adventurous Bronco, they've got you covered with exceptional selection and service right here in your city. Big West Ford, driven by you. Visit Big West Ford at 18208 Stony Plain Road or online at bigwestford.com.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app. This is the Oilers Radio.
I'm not sure they would have won that challenge, Bob. That was, as I look at that replay over and over again, I find it hard to believe that wasn't over the crossbar. Now, I don't have a perfect on-ice view of it, but
bottom line is Edmonton's up by 1 on the road. They're on the power play to start the third. And they have to be more decisive in their actions, taking the puck. I mean, just Darnell Nurse, and I know he's not out with the first unit lot, but he's the guy goal. You're up by 1 on the road with but
it'd be nice to have some separation.
Go get it early in the third.
And Edmonton will indeed have that power play chance to start the third period. The only second period goal, the power play tip in by Anthony Manthan. Again, you start like doing the math here. I mean, Ekholm runs about 6'4.5" on skates, maybe 6'7". The puck is touched along Ekholm's left shoulder. The crossbar is, I don't know, Bob. I mean, to me, is that not above the crossbar?
I thought it was pretty close because they called it a good goal on the ice.
I mean, it's tight. It's tight.
Bottom line, you're still up by 1.
Mantha, the power play tip in from Barry and Backlund. And again, first period goals to Edmonton. Draisaitl for Podkolzin 20 seconds in. Second game in a row, Edmonton's gotten a goal within the first 37 seconds of the contest. And Jeff Skinner with his third as an Oiler, the second of which have come against Calgary. Hyman, the assist, is 198th in the NHL in terms of career assists. So it's Edmonton 2, Calgary 1. The Oilers will look to close the show in the third period, and where they've been -3 this year. And remember, the Oilers, when leading after 2 periods this season, did let one slip away. That was against Carolina on home ice. They're 3-0-1 on the season. Calgary will be looking for its second win this season when trailing after 40 minutes of play. 2-1 Edmonton through 2 in the Battle of Alberta with Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
Do you have tickets to an upcoming event at Rogers Place that you can't attend? Donate your tickets to the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation Seats for Kids program, presented by Eagle Builders. Seats for Kids provides unused game tickets for charities, allowing children and families to enjoy hockey at Rogers Place. And for many, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. To be a part of the Seats for Kids program presented by Eagle Builders, please email edmonton@kidsupfront.com. That's edmonton@kidsupfront.com.
Edmonton, this one's for you. Split the Pot Lottery is more than just a chance to win. It's a way to give back and strengthen hospitals and healthcare right here at home and across Alberta. The jackpot is already hundreds of thousands and growing with each ticket sold. Don't miss this life-changing chance to win big and support your community. Visit splitthepot.ca to get your tickets today. Must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Lottery license number 698984.
the intermission. Brought to you by End of the Row Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Here's Anderson. In over the line. Centering pass. Coronado shot denied. Rebound, and Skinner got a piece of that as well.
That's our Highlight Zone, brought to you by Century Casinos. All in, all games, all season. Century Casinos with 3 great locations in Edmonton, St. Albert, and right next to the Edmonton International Airport. Welcome to the Winter Zone. Welcome to the second intermission, where the Oilers, with a 2-1 lead on the Calgary Flames after 40 minutes of play. It's Bryn Griffiths. It's Rob Brown. We're back here at Studio B. Okay, your thoughts on the high stick goal, as I use the quotey fingers here?
Well, we both were watching it. To me, it looked like it was a high stick. Not much.
Not by much, yeah.
But barely, but it did look like it was a high stick. But the problem was you had to overturn it. And I don't know.
It was close.
It was so close. It was one of those ones, if they would have called it no goal on the ice, and you would have reviewed it, you probably would have stayed with no goal on the ice. So that one's a real hard one, because you don't get the angles. You're going to get a camera looking up. You're going to get a camera looking down. And we watched a couple different views of it, and one's like, okay, that doesn't look as bad from there, and then you see another one. But to me, I don't have a problem with that one, because it was so close.
Yeah, and the funny part too is that when we first saw it, I thought they were going to wave it off. You thought it was a good goal, and then we watched it a little bit longer, and then you went, well, maybe, we both kind of reversed a little bit. That's how close it was. But at the end of the day, nothing we can do about it other than complain about it, or just say, yeah, they got that right, or yeah, they got that horribly wrong.
Well, and you saw that the coaching staff and you saw the other players is like, all right, let's just move on. And they did, but it did give the Calgary Flames a little bit extra jump, as they were much better in the second period. Stuart Skinner tested a number of times in that period and was very good. There were some big mistakes made by both teams. Both teams had some grade A looks. Both Skinner and Vladar excellent in the middle 20. It's a 2-1 game, but this one easily could be 3-2 with the number of chances both teams have had.
I don't even have to ask you a question here. I'm just going to say Blake Coleman.
Blake Coleman could have 4 goals in this game. He's had 4 grade A looks. Players, Connor and Leon and those guys and Hyman, they get grade A's all the time. But there's some players, you can go 2-3 games without a grade A scoring opportunity. So when you're like, okay, if I get one, I got to make sure. Coleman is one of those guys, every 3 or 4 games I'll get a point blank.
Right.
Tonight he's had 4 through 40 minutes. They've showed him a couple times on the bench, kind of with the doe-eyed look. It's like, okay, seriously, what do I need from this game for the puck to go into the back of the net? He's been very good. He's been the one that every time the Oilers have seemed to have made a big mistake, Blake Coleman is the guy that has the puck on his stick. Fortunately for the Oilers, Skinner's just been a little bit better in net against Coleman.
Oilers with a definitive edge for my money anyway in the first period, but the second period far more even. I was telling you during one of the commercial breaks how this starting to remind me a lot of the Oilers' loss to the Flames here, where they came out really strong in the opening 15 minutes of the first period. Calgary kind of evened it up a little bit and then completely took control in the second. This one's way more even now.
It's funny when you brought that up while we were watching the game. I said that was also the game where all the video replays went against the Oilers, and then soon after that, video replay went against the Oilers. Calgary hangs around. They do have some guys that can put the puck in the back of the net. Anderson on the back end has been excellent in this game. He's had a fantastic start to the season. The Oilers' special teams have not been good all year. They gave up the penalty kill goal against, and then on the power play, that was... I know you don't have Connor and you've got some different players in different spots, but the Oilers did not take advantage of a minute 7 power play where they were 5-on-4 and then Anderson breaks his stick. So that is a 5-on-3.5, and the Oilers didn't take advantage of that. That is a freebie. That's one where you're able to go through the cross ice because Anderson has no stick. It'll be a very important start to the third period. The Oilers have a chance to extend the lead, fresh ice. But again, when you start a period on a power play, you start at center ice. So the face-off becomes even more important. Get the draw, and all of a sudden you get in the offensive zone. Lose the draw, and you're going to lose 20 seconds of your power play.
Phil had 53 seconds on the power play to get things going for the Oilers in the third. Did not have a lot of odd man rushes in that second period, so they gotta crank it up a little bit here, and we'll see how they do. We'll take a timeout. News update on the way, then we'll come back with your out-of-town scoreboard, and then we'll get you all settled for a third period, and it's been a pretty exciting game. It's Edmonton, Calgary. What can I tell you? I can tell you one other thing. At the Intermission is brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring. Back with more right after the news update. This is your Ford Dealers Oilers Radio Network.
Hey, Paul Brandt here. As a musician, I'm drawn to the sounds of this great province. Whether it's the wind blowing down the Rockies, the rustling of grass across the prairie, or the sweet sound of a Ford Super Duty, it's all music to my ears. Speaking of Super Duty, with heavy-duty performance that's built for getting the job done right, it's no wonder this truck has Albertans singing its praises. The 2024 Ford Super Duty is available now at your Alberta Ford dealer. Just head on in today and tell them PB sent you.
Tired of skyrocketing energy bills? Switch to clean, affordable power with Horizon Solar. Whether you want to cut costs, go green, or increase your home's value, Horizon Solar has you covered with tailored solar energy solutions. With current government incentives, there's never been a better time to make the switch. Own your power, control your bills, live sustainably. For your free assessment, call Horizon Solar today or visit horizonsolar.com to get started. Horizon Solar, where going green makes sense.
Real Canadian Superstore has more ways to save than any other major grocer. Check out their weekly flyer for PC Optimum offers, deals on club size, no name, and always low-priced everyday items. Visit in-store to find everything from fashion and home decor to toys and electronics. And don't forget their new Fresh Promise on produce. If your produce isn't fresh, they'll replace it and refund it. There are so many ways to save at Real Canadian Superstore. See their flyer for details.
With Global News, I'm Thomas Dias. Federal mediators are still standing by, ready to help hammer out a deal to avoid a labor disruption at British Columbia's ports. Labor Minister Stephen McKinnon is urging the ports and the union to reach an agreement to avoid a lockout poised for tomorrow. The union did not immediately respond to requests for an update today, but the Employers Association said it had, quote, no further developments to report at this time. It's business as usual.
A centering pass from Blake Coleman, intercepted and cleared by Podkolzin to Arvidsson. In over the line, drop pass eluded Leon Draisaitl, and Blake Coleman comes up with a puck for Calgary. Comley chips it in deep. Coleman, part of that contingent, and we'll see another one tomorrow in Stefan Nason from Plano, Texas, of all places. This could have been, I thought was going to be icing, but no. Vladar elected to play the puck. Both teams made changes in personnel, and it's Calgary's Rasmus Andersson up the right-hand side. I'm not sure Huberdeau got a touch on that, and that's an icing call against the Flames, and I think a mistake from Dan Vladar.
Yeah.
If he doesn't touch that puck, I mean, maybe your club needs a line change, but go ahead and make it on the icing call.
Well, Nugent Hopkins has been Edmonton's best face-off man in this game. He's been up around 60% most of the season.
He's third in the league.
Which is a big step forward for him. He's 500 through 2 periods, and they get his line on the ice here with an ozone draw.
He had a big night against Dallas in the face-off circle. Lost one draw, and it led to the goal that turned that game around. As the Dallas Stars went on to beat the Edmonton Oilers. But now Edmonton in a position to climb above 500 with a victory tonight. Miramanov put just enough air under it not to get the icing call. Nurse guiding up the right-hand side. Hyman lost the handle. Quick shot. Huberdeau, and a blocker save made by goaltender Stuart Skinner. That was a tough pass that Hyman had to make a difficult play on, and it led directly to a chance for Huberdeau, who was denied.
I think it's fair to say Darnell's had some tough moments in tonight's game.
Huberdeau off to a much better start this year, 5 goals and 8 points. Here was a guy that went from 115 points in 2022 to 55 the next year and 52 last season.
He's having a better start this year, John.
Sharon Govich against Nugent Hopkins, who wins the face-off. Back to Darnell Nurse. Hard rim up the left-hand side. Got it through Miramanov, and now fired in by Janmark. Vladar will leave it. And it's tucked up to Huberdeau by Weegar. Right-hand side. You've got an opportunity for Mantha, but he's swallowed up by Darnell Nurse. Janmark came over. Sharon Govich trying to fight through traffic in the form of Kulak. Huberdeau unable to seal the wall, and now it's Hyman with a rink-wide pass that Nurse will gather and fire on net from the blue line. Easy save for Vladar, and a handoff for Tyson Barrie as Edmonton completes a change. 11 minutes left in regulation. We are tied at 2. The Oilers led 2-0 after 1. Calgary got 1 in the second, 1 in the third, and Ekholm was just high stick by Martin Pospisil. And now the only question is whether this is a 2 or a 4.
Well, Pospisil last year, as you know, had over 100 penalty minutes. He's an antagonistic player.
Checking on him is Kyle Raymond.
I think it's
yeah, Raymond's expression.
Perry's sitting there saying,
Corey Perry's saying, come on, he's bleeding. And Raymond, I don't think is going to go for it. I think it's just a 2. 2-minute minor high sticking. Edmonton's second power play of the night coming up.
Now, the one thing it does do is it allows Edmonton to have Ekholm on the ice on the power play. Because he was not
in the box.
Right.
And
he doesn't have to go off because he's bleeding either.
Right.
If they get a face-off win, put it to the net. And they can't have it both ways. They're telling him to go off here. Like, that's my point, Jack. If they're telling him
there's blood,
it should be a 4-minute penalty.
Now Raymond is coming over with an explanation for why it's not a 4-minute penalty.
That is unreal to me. That is unreal. If he's clean shaven, is it a penalty? Is it a 4-minute penalty?
Draisaitl, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, Nurse, and Bouchard. A face-off win for Edmonton. A tap back to Nurse. Now he'll come off, replaced by Ekholm. It might have been just a time scenario, Bob, where they felt like the timing of the power play had been delayed. Here's a drive by Ekholm, and thus you got to leave the ice in that particular case.
Absolutely.
May not be a blood situation. That shot from Ekholm careened off the corner boards back to Bouchard. Remember, Ekholm riding a 4-game point streak coming into tonight. His career high is 5. Nugent Hopkins works it around the boards. Hyman back to Bouchard. He'll walk the line. Ekholm again. 10 minutes to play in the hockey game. We're tied at 2. Edmonton on an Atco power play. Draisaitl to Ekholm. Bouchard flubbed that pass, threw it to the middle, deflected a couple times, and Ekholm was able to get a piece of the puck and prevent any sort of breakaway from Michael Backlund. Beautiful play. Draisaitl to Hopkins, backhander, score! Zach Hyman, top shelf, over the prostrate Dan Vladar. It was started by Draisaitl and finished by Hyman. 3-2 Edmonton.
Well, 4 Oilers contributed. Ekholm made a play. Draisaitl, the little interior chip pass there to Nugent Hopkins, perfectly saucered in, and Hyman has scored for the second consecutive game. Power play marker, and the Oilers lead at 3-2.
What a nifty, short little 15-foot pass from Draisaitl to Nugent Hopkins to create an odd man rush on that power play. 10-10 time of the power play goal. Edmonton's second in 17 tries on the road this year. And the power play comes through in the clutch to restore the lead for Edmonton at 3-2. Face-off win for Sharangovich at center ice. So off the power play conversion, you've got Henrique centering Janmark and Brown. Flames dump it in. Huberdeau, who had been foiled by Skinner, could have given Calgary a 3-2 lead. Henrique instead up the right-hand side for Janmark, tried to duck inside, and the Flames' Anthony Mantha will send it up the boards. Brett Kulak snatches it off the wall, cuts toward the net, and that was poke-checked away. Oilers trying to win their second straight game without Connor McDavid, who was injured on the first shift of an eventual 6-1 defeat in Columbus on Tuesday night. Here's Darnell Nurse. Or that was Monday night, I guess.
Yep.
Draisaitl will give it back to Bouchard, and it's a reset for Edmonton. 5-on-5 here with 9 minutes to play in the hockey game. Bouchard up the middle. That's going to be picked off by Barry. Staying onside is Kuzmenko. Now Kadri heads for the net. Wrist shot. And that is a glove save for Stuart Skinner as Kadri was looking top right corner, and Skinner makes an excellent stop. That's his 25th of the night and protects Edmonton's lead at 3-2. 8:42 remaining third period. We're live at the Saddle Dome with the Battle of Alberta. The Oilers Radio Network.
You can't predict exactly how your harvest will go. So here's the next best thing. InVigorResults.ca. Featuring localized and replicated trial results, you can see how InVigor canola hybrids could perform in your fields. But more importantly, the results demonstrate our consistent track record and undisputed leadership, giving you the confidence to flex your harvest muscle season after season. Go to InVigorResults.ca to see results in your area today.
Did you know that there are 9 Napa Auto Parts stores serving the greater Edmonton area and have been doing so for more than 50 years? Since Napa first opened in Edmonton, the community has grown and vehicles have changed, but you can always trust Napa Auto Parts to provide you with the expert know-how and the best vehicle parts. And if that isn't enough, every time you visit a Napa Auto Parts store when you present your AMA card, you receive an additional 10% discount on all retail parts and accessories. Visit your local Napa Auto Parts store for more offers and expert know-how. Napa Auto Parts is a proud fan of the Edmonton Oilers.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
All games, all season. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
3-2 hockey game in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. 8:42 left on the game clock. Flames a slight edge on the shot clock at 28-27, but a power play goal by Zach Hyman set up by Nugent Hopkins and Draisaitl at 10:10 of the third period has put Edmonton back in front after Calgary had rallied from a 2-0 deficit. Kadri wins a face-off from Draisaitl to the right of Stuart Skinner. Here's Kuzmenko rolling up top, giving it up to Anderson. His shot does not make its way through, but Colson calmly gathers the rebound, sent it off the glove of Kuzmenko, and it's fired in by Arvidsson. Around the boards, Draisaitl unable to get to the puck. Connor Zary will for Calgary, and angles one up the boards to Nazem Kadri. at the Edmonton blue line. He's cut off by Ekholm, and this will lead to a chance for Victor Arvidsson. Left wing, drop pass, put Colson. Forced out wide by Uyghur, then tried to bank it off the goaltender. Went off the right shoulder of Vladar. Backhanded down low by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Sent around the boards, and now Uyghur was high-sticked. And that will be a penalty against Evan Bouchard, Arvidsson, who's saying that Anderson rode Arvidsson's stick up into the face.
This might be 4.
Let's see what the call is. Arvidsson will get the penalty. Uyghur took one in the face. It's just a 2.
Okay.
Calgary will go on the power play. But what Arvidsson was saying is Anderson took his stick and basically put it into the face of Uyghur.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure he has an argument after seeing the replay.
Nor do I.
Off the draw, Connor Zary. He briefly had contact with the stick, but here's Ekholm. Breaking loose. Tried to move it through Backlund. Did so to Adam Henrique, and that will result in a length of the ice clear. So now your penalty kill entrusted with coming through in the clutch. Your power play has already done so to regain the lead. Now can Edmonton hang on with a struggling PK unit? Janmark, well executed at his own blue line to disrupt the Calgary rush. Connor Brown will dump it in. It's gloved by Vladar, and then he threw it over to Tyson Barrie. Kulak and Emerson back off as Calgary emerges from its own zone. Connor Zary took a peek behind him, got it to Backlund, and then Zary was blasted against the boards by Kulak. Outstanding work, and Brown able to clear.
Well, 13 and 28. When they're together, they're the Oilers' best penalty killers so far. It's been a terrible year at killing penalties, but those guys are good.
Here's Uyghur. The drop off to Sharon Govich. The Calgary power play is already down to a minute. It's a Napa Auto Parts penalty kill, and the Oilers need it desperately. Sharon Govich to Uyghur. Left circle, Huberdeau. Pauses. Harassed by Henrique. Now double teamed by Ekholm. Huberdeau able to keep possession, but now Darnell Nurse took it away. Disrupted by Kadri. Nugent-Hopkins will give it back to Nurse for the length of the ice clear, and the Flames have time for only one last rush. Vladar fires it up to Kadri. In over the line. Huberdeau tips it toward the Oiler net. Brett Kulak takes it from Skinner, and he'll launch down the middle, and that should pretty much do it. Still 15 seconds. Calgary moving quickly. Uyghur at center ice. He'll kick it back to Sharon Govich. He hits the line, splits the seam to the net. Kulak was able to reel him in at the last instant. Emerson will protect in the corner. Kadri working to clear the puck, and as Uyghur tries to pinch, it's cleared by Connor Brown, and the Flames do not even get a shot on their power play. Arvidsson back out of the box, sees Kuzmenko make one move to his left, gather himself, and try to shovel it in front. Bouchard got a piece of that on a pass intended for Kevin Rooney, and then it's lofted back the other way by Draisaitl. This will turn into an icing call against the Oilers with 5:35 remaining in this third period, and Edmonton holding on to a 3-2 lead.
So Arvidsson has to stay on the ice here.
Draisaitl and Hyman each with a goal and an assist. Jeff Skinner has the other goal, and Stuart Skinner rock solid between the pipes. 26 stops tonight. He was out-dueled by Dan Vladar in a game played at Edmonton last month. Oilers looking to even the season series and win their 7th in a row at the Saddledome. Draisaitl gets the face-off win. It's lofted down the ice, and that will roll over the goal line ahead of Kevin Ball, leading to another icing call. 5:26 remaining.
Bush wanted the call there.
Face-off will be to Skinner's right-hand side. Draisaitl against Backlund. He's quickly chatting with Kevin Ball about where he wants him stationed for this face-off. And now Backlund's going to be moved. No, they're going to keep him in there. Libor Sikonik drops the puck, and Draisaitl wins the face-off easily. Bouchard, again, too much on it. Big bounce and icing against Edmonton. There wasn't much pressure there, Bob.
He needs to work on his out-turn draw.
Well, that may be so. Or just take the puck behind the net and look for an outlet pass.
Because the other thing that's happening is Calgary We've forecheck pressured hard with different line matchups and peeled off some other times.
Sharangovich now out there with Mantha and Huberdeau. And Sharangovich lines up opposite Draisaitl in the face-off circle and kicks it back to Kevin Ball. Right side for Rasmus Andersson, and now Huberdeau. Top of the right circle, feathers one toward the net, blocked by Bouchard, handled by Ekholm, and he backhands it safely out of the zone. Booted the other way by Ball. Bouncing puck corralled by Sharangovich and flipped to the right-hand corner. Huberdeau against Bouchard. Around the boards to Anthony Mantha. Kevin Ball looks for a lane. Tipped by Draisaitl. Ends up wide of the net. Anderson put it back behind the Oiler goal where Bouchard was waiting for it, and Hyman guides it out to center ice.
Arvidsson finally got off the ice.
Here's Sharangovich under pressure from Draisaitl, who most relievedly will come off as well. Kulak up the right-hand side. That was broken up and sent the other way for Anthony Mantha. Flames a reload here with 4.5 to go in the third period. Right-hand side, a steal by Darnell Nurse. Flip back to center, and now Connor Brown has a step on Miramanov. Shoots and denied by Vladar. Rebound up the left-hand side. Kadri broken up by Kulak. Another missed opportunity for Edmonton to put this one away.
And Brown's a guy who's had a lot of chances, Jack. He's only got the one goal. Like to see him maybe score a couple more.
Lead pass left-hand side, Pospisil. And that's wedged in by Kuzmenko. Kulak after it. Kuzmenko trying to keep it alive. He's been active tonight. That's for certain. Andrei Kuzmenko. Kadri trying to get a touch on that puck, but it trickles free. And now Connor Brown with the puck starts up the right-hand side. Janmark will stay onside as it's dumped in and throw it around the boards out of the reach of Adam Henrique, however. 3.5 to play in the third period. Michael Backlund, the Calgary captain, will reverse first to Miramanov and then Uyghur. Up to center ice, Matt Coronado. Left wing shot, Backlund easily sticked aside by Stuart Skinner. Rebound tucked in front for Coronado. Nugent Hopkins anticipated, made the steal, and up to Zach Hyman. Wrist shot, gloved by Vladar. Didn't know where it was for a moment and had to pounce on it with 3:13 to play in the third period. Time for one final break as the Edmonton Oilers look to polish off this game in Calgary's Saddledome. It's Edmonton 3, Calgary 2. We're back with the final 3:13 of regulation in just a moment. It's Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
Help turn off hesitation, turn off doubt, turn off fears. The YMCA is a charity that helps people turn off whatever's holding them back so they can let their potential shine. With your support, you can help us turn on confidence, connections, and possibilities. Whether it's supporting families, building life skills, or fostering well-being, the YMCA offers a wide range of programs that empower people to shine their brightest. Visit our website to see how you can help today.
Do you have tickets to an upcoming event at Rogers Place that you can't attend? Donate your tickets to the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation Seats for Kids program, presented by Eagle Builders. Seats for Kids provides unused game tickets for charities, allowing children and families to enjoy hockey at Rogers Place. And for many, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. To be a part of the Seats for Kids program presented by Eagle Builders, please email edmonton@kidsupfront.com. That's edmonton@kidsupfront.com.
Athletes know that to advance your career, you've got to be part of a winning team. So what about you? Are you working for a winning team? Well, here's your chance to do just that. Brandt is a strong and stable industry leader with career opportunities across Canada. We have hundreds of positions available right now, from parts, sales, positioning technology, heavy-duty mechanics, and more. Be a part of a winning team. Earn your stripes by joining Brandt today. Find out more at BrandtJobs.com.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app.
This is the Oilers Radio Network.
Oilers in position to close out this hockey game. It's been a muddy track at times tonight. But Draisaitl and Hyman each with a goal and an assist, and it was Hyman that put Edmonton ahead halfway through this third period with a power play goal underneath the bar. And Draisaitl off the face-off to Vladar's right-hand side, sees the Flames escape their own end, but it may be icing, and it is, as the whistle goes with 3:05 left in the third period, and Edmonton hanging on to a 3-2 lead, looking to win for the fourth time in 5 games and go over 500 for the first time this season. Draisaitl wins the faceoff. Shot Arvidsson, and that's squeezed by goaltender Dan Vladar. And we'll look at a faceoff coming to his right. Draisaitl again. Backlund wins the faceoff for Calgary. The Flames backhanded up to the red line. Blake Coleman will dump it in. Sent around the boards by Ekholm, and that will fly the zone, but it's going to roll dead. Bob, there's your out-turn draw. 2:45 to go. Thus far, Vladar still entrenched in the pipes as Blake Coleman will dump it in. Darnell Nurse will send it around the left-hand side. Kicked out to Coleman. Down low in the right corner. Still Vladar between the pipes, and it's cleared by Nugent Hopkins back to center. 2.5 minutes remaining. Edmonton 3, Calgary 2. Shot in by Kevin Ball. Late change for the Flames. Nurse recognizes where there's no pressure, goes to Kulak up the right-hand side, and we may have too many men. Too many men on the ice with 2:18 to play in the third period. Monumental situation as the Flames make a boneheaded mistake. I mean, in that scenario, Vladar hadn't gone anywhere, Bob. There's no excuse for it.
Yeah.
And Calgary has put Edmonton on a power play. But even more important than that, Bob, now the Oilers don't have to release the puck if they don't want to. They can work the perimeter and drain clock because all but 18 seconds will be consumed by this power play. Draisaitl wins the faceoff. Nugent Hopkins to Matthias Ekholm. Around the boards, it's Draisaitl. Back to Evan Bouchard. Ekholm. Zach Hyman. Darnell Nurse. Sent around the boards. Draisaitl mishandled the puck, and now Calgary will come up ice shorthanded. Backlund will shoot it in. Anderson after the puck. Vladar still in the net. Nugent Hopkins ahead to Leon Draisaitl. Hyman streaking for the middle, and Draisaitl another poor pass that's going to be picked off by Backlund. And now the Flames may have something shorthanded. Here's Anderson with Vladar going to the bench. Calgary has the extra man on. Of course, with the extra man, it's still a 5-on-5 scenario. So it's spilled in by Anderson. Bouchard run off the puck, and Jonathan Huberdeau has it for the Flames. He centers off Kadri's stick out to Anderson. Now a one-timer Uyghur, and that was blocked in front by Matthias Ekholm. Uyghur pounces on the puck. 1 minute 15 to play in the third period. Edmonton 3, Calgary 2, 5-on-5, net empty for the Calgary Flames. Here's Huberdeau under duress from Nugent Hopkins. Nazem Kadri getting swallowed up by Ekholm. Bruising down low. Ekholm forces it free. Huberdeau snags and clears back to the point. Uyghur with a minute to go has another shot blocked by Ekholm. The Oilers in lanes all night. Nugent Hopkins could not clear. Uyghur gives it up for Huberdeau. Close quarters. Uyghur fires, saves Skinner, and he'll squeeze it with 47 seconds remaining. And you wonder whether Ryan Huska, the Calgary head coach, ponders a timeout here.
You know one thing, Paul Coffey's going to put Kulak and Nurse together on defense. Calgary looks like they're going to take a timeout for sure.
47 seconds remaining. Now, still 29 seconds left in the too many men.
Jack, if I'm the Oilers and they take the timeout here, I put McDavid and Nugent Hopkins back on the ice.
Well, you can't put McDavid on the ice.
Sorry, Draisaitl, and yes, thank you. Good catch. Wishful thinking on my part, but no, yeah, I think you got to put Leon and Nuge. They're your two best face-off guys.
Well, and again, we've seen a lot of guys chased out tonight, so it magnifies the importance of having two reliable face-off men out there.
And right now they got Henrique out there with Janmark.
And, of course, it's not a scenario where you can't substitute liberally here. You can put whoever you want on the ice, and I think Draisaitl's coming over. Yeah, he is. Draisaitl's going to be coming on here. It's a 5-on-5 scenario. So Draisaitl will join Henrique and Janmark. So now you have another backup scenario with two center icemen. Janmark has played a little center.
Yeah, 3 left-handed shots and it's the left side draw.
Right. So Nurse and Ekholm out there with Draisaitl, Janmark, and Adam Henrique. This is still, remember, technically an Atco power play. The net is empty, 5-on-5. And here's Kadri against Draisaitl, who wins a big face-off, a clear by Ekholm, swatted midair by Weegar. He does hold the zone. Draisaitl again. Henrique can't clear this time. Sharon Govich trying to shrug off Draisaitl with a centering pass. Nurse had it, lost it at his feet. It's still loose, banging on it. Anderson hit the side of the net. Now it's Weegar, left circle, fires. Selling out for the block is Janmark. 25 seconds to go. Still 3-2 Edmonton. Anderson could not thread it through that traffic, got it back to Weegar. Now Anderson, left circle. Power play is over for Edmonton. 6-on-5 Calgary. One-timer Anderson deflected high and wide. Kadri, short side. Sharon Govich lost the handle. Draisaitl with the net empty. Up to Matthias Janmark. He shoots and scores. And Edmonton will win this Battle of Alberta 4-2. Janmark took an extra shot from Anderson and went right back at him, but he's put it away on Draisaitl's third point of the night. Rasmus Anderson, with about 30 seconds to go, had an open net, but he had 3 or 4 bodies in front and clanked it off the side of the goal.
And Leon Draisaitl, for the second consecutive game without Connor McDavid, is going to pick up 3 points. So what are they looking at here?
Time of the empty netter, 1957. It'll be Janmark with his first goal of the year, set up by Draisaitl.
That was a great block by Henrique. Now, why would you put Longberg on the ice here with 2.4 seconds left? Ryan Huska.
Kevin Rooney to take the draw against Noah Philp. I don't think it'll matter. Last face-off won by Calgary, and that's all she wrote. Matthias Janmark salts it away with an empty netter. Rasmus Anderson with a chance to tie the game with about 30 seconds to go. Could not find the range. And Draisaitl not only has back-to-back 3-point games without Connor McDavid in the lineup, but that's now 3 3-point games for Draisaitl in his last 4. Because remember, he also had a 3-point outing on his 29th birthday. Edmonton 4, Calgary 2. That's your final. The Oilers outshot the Flames 31-30 tonight and led for much of the night. Calgary did tie it on Sharon Govich's first of the year with about 15.5 minutes to go in regulation, but 5.5 minutes later, it was Draisaitl finding Nugent Hopkins, who in turn fed Hyman for what would turn out to be the game-winning goal on the power play. The penalty kill came through subsequently, and then Janmark was able to close it out with an even-strength empty netter from Draisaitl, and Edmonton improves to over 500 on the year for the first time. 6-5-1, 4 wins in 5 games, and the Oilers will head home having won 3 of 4 on this road trip. And we're joined by Zach Hyman now. And Zach, the game-winning goal came on the power play, and it starts really with Draisaitl's 8-foot pass to Nugent Hopkins. That was a thing of beauty. Tell me what you saw developing on that power play sequence.
Yeah, it was kind of close to Leon there, so I thought that the pass was for somebody else, so let it go through my legs, and obviously it was for Nagy, and he made a great play, and then Nagy made a great play. So two great plays there, and I was able to finish it.
You know, Stu Skinner, good bounce-back performance from him tonight, Zach. He was one save better than the other guy.
Yeah, he played great. We're really confident in Stu, and he was on his game tonight and gave us a chance to win.
Zach, you stayed persistent. It was not the easiest 10 games in terms of seeing some goaltenders make some highlight reel saves on you, yet you never showed any real sense of frustration. Is that because you felt like you were playing the right way and getting the right chances, and it was just a matter of time?
Yeah, I think I've played in this league long enough that I know when things are going like that, they're going to turn if you just keep playing, keep working, and you don't change how you're playing, especially if you're getting looks. And I was getting more than my fair share of looks. So happy I was able to put one in last game, and then a big one tonight, obviously, to help us win.
Enjoy the flight home.
All right, thanks, guys.
That's Zach Hyman with the game-winning goal tonight, set up by Leon Draisaitl. who punctuates yet another 3-point performance with an assist on the game-winning goal, the game-breaking goal, and Edmonton indeed closes it out. It was not easy, often a muddy track tonight, often, at times, quite frankly, an ugly game, and yet the Oilers are able to scrape out the 2 points and now set themselves up probably as confident as they've been all year.